My worlds collide. JMU gets a Syracuse transfer. It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. I am your affable host, Dave Schultz. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right, worlds colliding. Justin Taylor from Syracuse. Ends up being a big couple of days for JMU. We'll go over that. So Justin Taylor transferring back to his home state, I guess from Charlottesville, and he's transferring to Harrisonburg to JMU. All right, Cajuns kind of skyrocket in the rankings. The guys doing the rankings didn't hurt them the way the RPI did, so they're moving up there. And we'll preview some softball and baseball. Big Cajuns matchup with the LSU Tigers. But let's talk about this. This is a nice little get for the new coaching staff over at JMU. Justin Taylor started for Syracuse and probably did not have the kind of season that he was supposed to have. He played much better last year, I thought. He almost shot 40% from three in the 22-23 season, and he missed his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 threes. So he was shooting over 40%. And he never really got it going offensively this year for Syracuse, but I'm pretty sure he started every game, or most of them anyway, and has some good size, can rebound and play defense, because when you're not scoring, then you got to be able to do the other things, and that's what he can do. But really, you just saw him, watching a lot towards the end of the season. He was missing layups, missing free throws, would not attempt a three. This year, he shot 35% overall and 30% from three. I still think that's a good get, and we'll see him next season. Maybe Sunbelt Conference Tournament. Probably not coming back to the Cajun Dome, but we'll see the Cajuns taking on JMU on the road. I think they only play him once, right? If that's the case. Anyways, we wish Justin Taylor the best. I think JMU got a good one. I guess his mother is a JMU graduate. I think he's going to be one of the more athletic guys in the Sun Belt. And if he can get that shot down and get his confidence back, he'll be fine. All right, because that's what he was supposed to be able to do and did 2 seasons ago, but didn't do it very well this past season. So that was one of the guys that JMU got in the transfer portal. I don't know if you count this in the transfer portal, but class of 2024 point guard Red Thompson, who had committed to the previous JMU coaching staff, is now recommitting to the current coaching staff. So, I don't even mind that, right? Because despite what people think, well, you commit to the school. Not really, right? You kind of commit to the coach, right? The kids feel that they have his back, not necessarily the school. So good job by Preston Spradlin to get Red Thompson back in the fold, tell him what it's all about. And they didn't really lose anybody from the class of 2024. They also got Morehead State transfer Eddie Ricks III, 6'7" freshman, 7.5 points a game and almost 5.5 rebounds a game. I mean, that's pretty good. I know, whatever level you want to consider Morehead State, okay, that's fine. But, good size, and that's pretty good for a freshman. All right. 7.5 points, 5.5 rebounds a game. That'll work for JMU. So that's a big day for JMU. Also, I think we saw Billy Wiles. I don't think that's any surprise. The quarterback from Southern Miss transfer out. He hit the transfer portal, and I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of guys transferring, for football later today. So we'll see how that goes. But JMU, in what has been let's be honest, I'm not sure, this has to be some sort of record-setting season for JMU as a full-fledged, FBS member, right? Having a great season in football. I know they came up short and whatever that was, but, having game day there, that's awesome. Winning the Sun Belt Conference tournament, finished second in the regular season, winning a tournament game in the NCAA, that's spectacular. The baseball has the second best RPI in the conference right now. So they're doing well with that. And the softball team, after taking it on the chin to the Cajuns, which is no shame because almost everybody takes it on the chin from the Cajuns, they went back home and they swept Marshall. And JMU has a good softball program, so that's nothing new there. So they've had a long history of really good softball. So it has been a heck of a year. Now you get Preston Spradlin in, and as the new coach, and doing a good job in the portal and making sure, the kids that he wanted, anyway, that were already committed, they committed back. So good job by Preston Spradlin. All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll check out those baseball rankings. Cajuns fell in the RPI, but that's not affecting the rankings. They skyrocketed. We'll do that after we tell you about FanDuel and a new sponsor, Monopoly Go. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL, and baseball's in full swing. And FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on the app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And Monopoly Go. I'm told I'm a very competitive person. I'm sure that's been evident here. I have a competitive side, and we all do. And my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. By the way, I used to play Monopoly all the time on the board game. And as far as I'm concerned, I was the champ. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. I got to get in on this. But the best part is messing with my friends. I can charge them rent on my iconic properties just like classic Monopoly, but now I can also rob their vaults of riches for myself. And the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now, free from the App Store or Google Play. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Not feeling very confident on the Pelicans tonight. Speaking about FanDuel and NBA, we may have to take the Lakers in that one. All right, so the Cajuns have won 19 out of 20. They've won 14 straight, dating back to their opening game against Arkansas State. First game they in the Sun Belt. They lost that one, but have not lost in the Sun Belt since. They are coming off a sweep of the Marshall Thundering Herd. All right, and thanks to our guys at Ragin Review, who I did search, but they put it all together for me in a graphic. That's a great job by them. D1 Baseball has the Cajuns up to 14. USA Today, 15. Coaches Poll, 16. Baseball America, 20. And Perfect Game, 16. So the Cajuns fell RPI-wise from 50 to 55 because they lost to Louisiana Tech. Also, Marshall doesn't have a very good RPI. I think La Tech was swept. That didn't help the Cajuns, who Lost to Louisiana Tech, but Louisiana Tech had a chance to beat Arizona. Maybe that would have helped. I will say from here on out, the RPI should not be a problem. Like if you take 2 out of 3 from Coastal Carolina, then their RPI is going to pop, low 40s to maybe even 30s. And then you just have to win. And then you just have to, take 2 out of 3 when you come back home and face Southern Miss, right? Can you go on the road and not get swept by Troy? Take care of business against Georgia Southern on the road. So they're not going to get hurt by playing their games. Again, about 11 days ago, maybe less, like 9 days ago, the Cajuns were 46. Like we're going to do a little graphic, take a little screenshot that the Cajuns were higher than LSU, who can't win a game either. But the Cajuns have lost 1 out of their last 20, and they won, let's hear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've won 5 out of 6 since they were 46 or maybe even 45 on warrennolan.com. And they've dropped to 55 RPI-wise because of their opponents. Now, again, that's going to change. Kind of as we talked about, at least on the Schultze cast, that it's the opposite of what LSU has done. LSU has played like the top teams in the SEC, whereas the Cajuns have series wins over ULM, Marshall, and Arkansas State. And I think those are 3 of the 4 teams on the bottom. And now I got to figure out what's the other one. Let me see if I can see the teams. Let's see the standings. Old Dominion. Oh, Texas State. Okay, so Texas State. So they swept Texas State, who, unfortunately for the Cajuns, hasn't been as good as they were supposed to be. And we talked about this on the Schultze cast, that the Cajun schedule has gotten so bad, LSU is a quad 2 loss. And that's right. Rice was supposed to be better, and they're not very good. Wright State was supposed to be good. They're not very good. Houston isn't very good. So the Cajuns have set themselves up to where if they win, right, and we think they're pretty good. All right. Based on what we've seen, we think they're pretty good. But I do take into account, Marshall was overmatched. I happen to think Matt Daggs rested some starters who needed a break and wasn't really afraid that Marshall was going to score more than a few runs. Now, he wants his team to score more than the 2, but he let some guys have a day off, knowing that runs were not necessarily, they didn't have to score 5 or 6 runs. He would have liked to, and they probably should have, but he knew he had an advantage on the mound, and that was why he gave the guys a day off. And the starter didn't get out of the first; they left the bases loaded. Right? I mean, this could have been a 5-0 game in the first inning. The Cajuns even got a break. So the Cajuns continue to move up. I guess we should see who else is in the standings, because I think Coastal Carolina. Let's see here, baseball standings, D1 baseball. I think Coastal Carolina is still ranked. Let's see. Did I see they were 20th? Like the Cajuns popped. They are liking the Cajuns a little bit. Let's see here. I think you can actually check this out. Cajuns are 14. Last week they were 19. Coastal Carolina, who took 2 out of 3, they went from 20 to 19. So the Sun Belt actually has 2 teams ranked in the top 25. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. At least on D1 baseball, we could see any others perchance. Let's see here. Let's see if we get that's D1. See if we can get. I'm trying to scroll down. No, we're not seeing it. It's all D1 baseball. So, there's Baseball America. So Baseball America, Cajuns are 20th, and Coastal Carolina is 21. I mean, now you got a big matchup this weekend. So that'll be big. We have reached out and have not been able to, we haven't heard back. We did reach out for Gary Gilmore. I'm sure he's busy. I think they got a game tonight. And so maybe we'll hear back today and set something up for Wednesday or Thursday. Cajuns play Southeastern tonight and then play Southeastern again on Wednesday. They have a home and home. We'll see if it's not really a winning streak anymore, other than, they've won 3 in a row. But it is a Sunbelt winning streak, and you'd rather not lose to Southeastern, whose RPI it went up and then it fell because they lost a couple of games that maybe they shouldn't have. All right, so let's do a little preview. Let's see what is on tap. We know the Cajuns are facing LSU in softball. They have a home and home. So the Cajuns are going to LSU this week, and then LSU is returning the favor next week, and I think that's awesome. It's such an easy midweek ball game, lack of travel. I'm not worried about the funds. It's just easy back and forth. As long as there's we won't even get in it. We won't even think it. All right, we will do that after we come back and tell you about LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the process easier. They even just launched a new feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even quicker. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Let's see. So we'll have double dip for the Cajuns. I'm watching the Cajuns. Can watch both of them at home. So instead of going to the LSU Cajuns softball game, we'll watch the baseball game and wait for that to end and then hop on and do the Wednesday report. So let's see where we are Sunbelt-wise. Let's see where we are Sunbelt schedule. Softball. Let's do that first. We haven't really done a whole lot of that. Let's see who else is playing. Midweek game. James Madison they have a doubleheader against Longwood. Georgia State is hosting Georgia Tech, crosstown rivals, if you will. And again, LSU hosting the Cajuns. On Wednesday, the midweek games, Georgia Southern is at Mercer. Georgia State at home again against Kennesaw State. Coastal Carolina is going to Charlotte. UTSA is hosting Texas State. I didn't think this was the case, but the Cajuns are hosting Nichols. I thought they only had the one game, but the Cajuns are hosting Nichols on Wednesday. And ULM is hosting Grambling. All right. I'm not sure if there's I don't know what the standings are. Oddly enough, the Cajuns baseball team has a bigger lead in the standings than the softball team. That very rarely happens. All right. Cajuns hosting a Southern Miss. ULM is right up there. They're hosting Texas State. We'll go over that a little bit later on. Let's see what we got in baseball. Well, let's do the standings. Now that I'm talking about it, let's check out the standings in softball. Cajuns are in front. They're 14-1. They lead Texas State, who's 10-5. Troy, ULM, and South Alabama, all 9-6. So jockeying for position for that second spot. Maybe trying to avoid facing the Cajuns until the Sun Belt Championship, if that is a fait accompli. JMU, Southern Miss, 8-7. Coastal, 7-8. Marshall, 6-9. Georgia Southern, 5-10. App is 14-11. And Georgia State struggling at 1-14 in the Sun Belt. Let's check out the baseball side of it. All right. Any midweek games this week? Cajuns had that five game midweek, and it looks like we got a bunch of ball games. Old Dominion hosting Virginia. Again, very cool. Texas State going to Incarnate Word. Georgia State hosting Kennesaw State. App State going off to Western Carolina. UNC hosting Coastal Carolina. Is that a makeup? I think that's a makeup. Marshall taking on Morehead State. ULM hosting Louisiana Tech. Southern Miss taking on Nichols. Troy is at Samford. Ole Miss going to Arkansas State. Pretty cool. And again, the Cajuns are at Southeastern in Hammond, and they return the favor on Wednesday. Georgia Southern on Wednesday going to Kennesaw State. Marshall going to Morehead State, so they're returning the favor. That's right. All right, so they're returning the favor. James Madison off to VMI on Wednesday. Troy hosting Jacksonville State, and South Alabama coming to New Orleans to take on Tulane. We didn't think there was that many great baseball series this weekend, right? Georgia Southern's at James Madison. The big one, though, is, well, I guess there are a couple. You have Coastal Carolina, obviously against the Cajuns. That's the big one. But Georgia State and Troy are tied for second. So there's something with that one as well. When you have 5 teams tied for second and 2 of them are playing, that's got to be considered a big series. So we shall see how that turns out. We'll have a full recap, I guess, of baseball and softball on Wednesday. And I'm sure there will be, all kinds of transfer issues here. Not issues, but guys in the transfer. And we'll see. I think I saw Arkansas State got a guard in the transfer portal. And that may have been all I saw. So we'll try to keep track of it throughout the day on Tuesday and see what we come up with for Wednesday. All right. So thanks very much for tuning in. Please continue to subscribe. We're almost at 1,200. So we're getting there. This is Dave Schultz, and you've been watching and listening Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day.